Let us turn to page 3, setting up proper motivation. With the 3 points, refuge field, what to visualize and how to visualize. And Bodhisattva field, what to visualize and how to visualize. And the purpose of this practice to eventually discover the ultimate treasure of happiness that we have by cleansing mental defilements and to cleanse the mental defilements within the nature of the defilements. And nature of the defilements, there are two, the gross and subtle. The gross one, also referred to as afflictive observations, which is of 3 kinds: contaminant karmas, afflictions, and active seeds, and all 3 are somehow hovering around the, or given rise to by this self-grasping ignorance. And the cognitive obscuration, the subtle stains, which consists of the inactive seeds of, or the garlic smell like, the smell of the garlic-like stains, which is again the stains led by the self-grasping ignorance and its offshoots. So in both cases, the remedy is the wisdom of emptiness, and this wisdom of emptiness can be cultivated, or has to be cultivated, in 3 steps. Wisdom derived through learning, wisdom derived through reflection, and wisdom derived through meditation. First, we have to learn meaning. We have to study the text as much as possible about the wisdom of emptiness, on the wisdom of emptiness, and gain as much information. Then whatever information that we got, we subject this to analysis to see how much you gain conviction in what, confidence and conviction in what you've learned, to gain conviction that the things are really empty of objective existence. Things are really empty, they're all illusion-like. How things appear to me, they are deceptive. Things don't really exist the way they appear to me. This conviction must be gained. Once you gain this conviction, this is known as the wisdom derived through reflection. And the wisdom derived through reflection, the conviction that you gained, then you subject this to the analysis. It is like you have got the medicine. Once you get the medicine, then you have to take it consistently. So consistently you practice it to make it the effortless. So the meditation, that it becomes a spontaneous flow, effortless. Once it becomes effortless, within that effortless meditation, wisdom derived from meditation, there are 2 kinds, conceptual and non-conceptual. So the conceptual, it is only the conceptual that eventually will reach to the non-conceptual. Once you reach the non-conceptual level, then that alone, non-conceptual experience of emptiness, non-dual wisdom of emptiness, and the direct experience of emptiness, these 3 are synonymous. So when you reach that level, only then you reach the paragati level, part of seeing. Once you reach part of seeing, then the actual cleansing of the mental defilements happen. Before that, we may do any other practices to cleanse the mind of the content karmas and so forth, for the purpose of Bodhisattva and so forth, Bodhisattva practice. Say before seeing emptiness directly, all the cleansing happens just as a temporary subsiding. The actual cleansing doesn't happen. So actual cleansing happens from part of seeing. So at that level, then whatever practice that you do with the accompaniment of the non-dual wisdom of emptiness, then the Bodhisattva practice, all these things will actually cleanse the mental defilements from the root. Okay, so this is the purpose. With this, then the Bodhisattva will come out, the Buddha nature will come out, the way when the mixture of the gold and the soil, when you remove the soil, then the gold inside will slowly start to glow. And then as the soil is removed completely, the gold will glow perfectly. You wouldn't believe the wonder of the amazement of this, the gold glowing, and seeing that there's actually gold here. So this is what we will see, the gold of the Buddha nature within us through cleansing the mental defilements. For that matter, we have to know how to apply this reality. So, for that purpose, we are engaging this practice and imagining that all sentient beings are with you, including your two parents, and all the Buddhist Bodhisattvas, they're watching us, and you are leading this. With that mind, let's turn to page 3 of the book. And here by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views, to you the Buddha Dharma, I pay homage. And here by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views, to you the Buddha Dharma, I pay homage. And here by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views, to you the Buddha Dharma, I pay homage. Independent origination, there is no ceasing, no rising, no annihilation, no permanence, no coming, no going, no sadness, no sickness. I prostrate to the constant Buddha, the Supreme Among all teachers, the one who taught this peace, which is the freedom of elaborations. I prostrate to the mothers of the hearers, the Bodhisattvas and the Buddhas, who to the knowledge of all these hearers seeking specific into complete peace, who to the knowledge of past causes those having migrated to achieve the end of the world, and who to the possession of nations help subduers expand a variety of teachings. The one has transformed into the blind guide, motivated by altruism to find sentient beings. The teachers, guard and protector to you are administrations. The one has eliminated the right of conceptualizations and is endowed with the divine bodies of the vast and the profound. Who eternally transport the forever noble light rays to you, the Buddha, make restorations. I go for refuge and true enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha.
And my heritage is the practice of giving and so forth.
May I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I hope for refuge and true enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge and true enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Sangye Yola Zoge Chonanda Chanjo Bardo Dame Gyasochi Dage Jinso Gebe Sonamke Tola Benje Sangye Dubaisho Sangye Yola Zoge Chonanda Chanjo Bardo Dame Gyasochi Dage Jinso Gebe Sonamke Tola Benje Sangye Dubaisho. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today the Buddha's presence, I generate mind for awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhava Hetum Desham Tathagato Yavadat Desham Chayo Nirodha self-realized wisdom, to the mother of the Buddhas of the three times are your peace, vibrant drum of Dharma, please liberate all beings of miseries. I beseech you to kindly remain and give teachings until the end of the spans of billions of eons. The Buddha does not wash the negativeness of beings, nor does he remove the miseries of man's hands. His spiritual realizations are not transferred to them. It is by teaching the truth of suchness that the beings are liberated. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all good and mysterious glow. If attached to this life, you are not a spiritual practitioner. If attached to samsara, you have no renunciation. If attached to your own self-interest, you have no bodhicitta. If this trust people do not have the view. Okay, Heart Sutra Mantra, which is on page 31. Okay. Visualize that Buddha Shakyamuni, a very compassionate teacher who achieved Buddhahood under the Bodhi tree for the benefit of all sentient beings. Then he is exhorting us thus: don't remain in the fears of samsara, don't remain in the fears of pains. Come to us ultimate happiness. And you hearing this melodious voice of the Buddha Shakyamuni, you inspire your two parents, you inspire all your family members, your children, and all sentient beings in this universe, telling them, look, this is a very compassionate teacher, Buddha Shakyamuni, exhorting us thus: let us not remain in the fears of samsara anymore. Let us all go towards ultimate happiness with the wisdom of emptiness, driven by the force of bodhicitta grounded on renunciation. And hearing this, all the demon sentient beings, they so happily join you in the journey of Gati Gati, Paragati, Parasamati, Bodhiswaha, the journey of cleansing the mind, so that the Buddha energy within us become vibrant, that henceforth your peace of mind, infinite peace of mind, the infinite fearlessness forever remains with you, so that you are least affected by external factors. Okay, you did this, and all beings are joining you happily. 201 on the dependent origination and emptiness meditation, a compilation of extracts from sutras and other treatises. Okay. So as we already know, this compilation consists of the many facets of the teachings related to emptiness, some of which the benefits of emptiness, benefits of meditation emptiness, and some of which do inform us what exactly constitutes the emptiness, and some of which, so what is the very unique, the aspect of unique, what the benefit of meditation emptiness, and what's unique benefit of meditation on empty compassion, the need for us to have the combinations too, and all these facets you will see from this combination. This is going to be very helpful, and see if, once in a while, like once a week, during the weekends, if not every day, during the weekends, you can read these combination, both set till page 201. Okay, let's read this slowly. Okay, when we read this, the point is that, as I said earlier, there are two ways of reading it. Even if your mind, okay, one will say first two. One, somebody is least interested, and then for the sake of reading, just read it, this one. Number two is with interest, so much interest, respect, devotion, you read it. Within this category, even though you have so much respect, devotion, and so forth, you read within that there are two. One, where with the devotion, with the respect, you read it, but the meaning does not flow. And one where you exert effort in this to see what it means, what's the meaning there. This is so, oftentimes, the fact that we are here, is a clear indication that we have the respect for this wisdom emptiness, we have the desire for wisdom emptiness, and we have a tremendous sense of the inclination for Holiness. But it doesn't guarantee that when you read this, the meaning will flow in us. So try best to see what is said there. For that, we have to read it slowly. Because the words come, the meanings not be reflected. The words come into your mind, and the meanings come into your mind. Meanings coming to your mind will take time. So the words so fast. So therefore, you flow with words, and then the meaning will take time. You cannot grab the meaning. So let us read it a little slowly, right? At least that you should be able to read it in a leisure way, so that to the best you can, meanings are reflected. So with this, meanings reflected, you could feel the transformation taking place. Without the meanings reflected, with piety, the fondness, you read it like 200,000 times. With meanings reflected, you read it, say like 100 times. Just reading 100 times versus reading 100,000 times, the transformation taking place with your mind is much stronger with reading just 100 times with meanings reflected. So how do you know that the meanings reflected or not? When you read it, they say you could feel that after reading this you feel a little tired. You feel a little tired, which means that so much energy is consumed, not for the words, but for meanings. You feel a little tired. You could feel it. One. Then number two, that you will feel a sense of awe, sense of fulfillment, right? Wow, it's amazing, right? Just reading, you can read even novels, you can read it, right? But amazement will come to you after reading this, sense of awe, sense of fulfillment. Okay, let's read this a little slowly, no hurry. Given by the precious chance sutra. Let's read it all together. Manjushri, whoever listens even with doubt to this teaching on emptiness, generates much greater merit than a Bodhisattva who, lacking skill in means, practices the sixth perfection for 100,000 eons. This being so, what is needed there to say anything about a person who listens to this teaching without doubt? What needs there to say anything about a person who imparts the scripture in writing, memorizes it, and also teaches it thoroughly and extensively to others? The treasury of the One Thus Formed Sutra. Any person who possesses all these 10 great non-virtues enters into the teaching of self-existence and his faith and convictions that all phenomena from the beginning pure of true existence thus will go to a bad river. Section Subduing Devils, Devil Sutra. If any bhikshu realizes that all phenomena are absolutely pacified of inherent existence, and the beginning of defilement is devoid of self-nature, it removes the guilt of having defilements and makes unstable the defilements, thus deeming even the immeasurable negativity is dysfunctional, that are known the secondary wrongs done associated with ethics and rituals. Arya's pointed verses. Those who just married will not even have a doubt. It is dharma of ultimate reality. Should the doubt ever arise in someone, it will shatter samsara into pieces. Acharya Chandrakirti's enter into the middle way. Even as an ordinary being, when hearing about emptiness, one experiences with an utter joy again and again. Tears flow from such pure joy moisten one's eyes, and one's hair stands on end. One is the seed of the wisdom of the awakening. Upali requested sutra. The various delightful flowers blossom, and the sparkling supreme golden apple stands so alluring. For none of these is their creator. They are posited by the power of thought. It is the true conceptualization that the world is imputed. Bhikkhuni Vajira's utterance in a fundamental Vehicle Sutra. The mind is demonic which views a truth self. You have the wrong view. These composition aggregates are empty. There is no being in them. Just as one designates a card in dependence upon a collection of parts, so we assert the conventional sentient being in dependence upon aggregates. Venerable Shavara's writings. Searching for reality from space, one finds not the periphery nor the center. All perception cease completely. Likewise, through a thorough search of mind and phenomena, one finds not even an atom of essence. Since the searching mind is not found, not seeing anything is seeing the reality. Saint Sadaha's writings in extract. By entering into emptiness, by devoted compassion, one will not find the supreme path. By meditating upon compassion alone, one will not attain liberation but remain in samsara. The one capable of grasping the unity of the two will not remain in samsara nor abide in personal nirvana. King of Concentration Sutra. Just as in a dream of a young girl, she met with a boy and saw his death. Joyous was she at the meeting, and in anguish at his death. View all phenomena as thus. Arya Nagarjuna's fundamental wisdom of middle way. Through ceasing karma and afflictions, nirvana is achieved. Karma and afflictions arise from distorted conceptions. These arise from the vibrations of grasping true existence. Elaboration cease by owing to emptiness. Neither the aggregates nor different from the aggregates. The aggregates won't depend on him, nor is he dependent on them. The Tathagata does not possess the aggregates, or is the Tathagata. That which dependent originates is posited to be empty of independent existence. That which dependently designated is systematic way. Since there is no phenomena that is not dependent originated, therefore there is no phenomena that is not empty. Arya Nagarjuna's precious comment. If the person is not earth, not water, not fire, not air, not space, not also consciousness, and not all of them, where is the person out of those? Just as the person is not truly existent because of being an aggregation of the six elements, his actions also is not truly existent
as they are aggregations
of their own constituents. Arya Nagarjuna's commentary on Bodhisattva. Those who understand this emptiness of all phenomena will also conform to the law of karma and its results. There is more amazing than amazing, there is more wondrous than wondrous. 400 verses. When dependent arising is seen, ignorance is not pure. Thus, through all efforts, try to find this subject. His Holiness, the seventh Dalai Lama's guided view, the four mindfulnesses. The sphere of appearing in existing phenomena is pervaded by the space of the ultimate clarity of suchness. There is an infallible ultimate reality. Viewing this nature of emptiness through abandoning mental contrivances, don't let your mind go astray, but place it in the ambience of reality. Through not losing mindfulness, hold it in the ambience of reality. At the crossroad of six directions of consciousness, there are diverse perceptions. Are seen the hazy, dualistic phenomena which are faceless. There is a measured shoe that is by nature deceptive, Don't believe them to be true, but view them as in the nature of emptiness. Don't let your mind go astray, but place it in the nature of appearance and emptiness. Do not lose in mindfulness, hold it in the nature of appearance and emptiness. His Holiness, the 14th Dalai Lama's praise for proliferating the Dhamma of the land of snows. When Dalai Lama, Geshe Dorji, and so on, both of the precious are viewed the sources of blessings, the genealogies of masters of this outstanding tradition. To you all I pray, may the Buddha Rama of the land of snows blaze forevermore. All phenomena encompassing samsara and nirvana are but the radiance of spontaneous awareness. Awareness itself to all the vibrations is reality in the nature of dharmakaya. Pervading all existences and appearances of samsara and nirvana is the great Mahamudra. May the Buddha Rama of the land of snows blaze forevermore. In praise of Dhamma, impermanent, suffering, and empty, each will purify the mind. The Dhamma that is unsurpassed and purify the mind is the life of intrinsic nature. Concluding prayer in Nalanda Buddhist commentary on Arya Nagarjuna's Mahayana Buddhism, the middle way. Throughout our future lifetimes, we are always be guided by our Manjushri, and be able to uphold the Dharma in general and the teachings of the technical tradition in particular, even in personal life. Okay, with folded hands, let's say it together. Shri Heruga, Shri Heruga, Shri Heruga. Hey, is the surface of phenomena, emptiness of the mind, which is the source of everything, as it is imputed to your cause and nature. Who is the surface of the person, emptiness of self that is fabricated by the web of conceptual thought that grasps the result of person. God is ultimate reality, the absence of the dissonant duality of subject and object. She is the non-dual solid wisdom that abides in congruence with the emptiness of the object. This is the meaning of A. Okay, the last time when we did Pramana Praktika, we turn to page 4. We turn to page 4. Page 4. Okay, the second last para, the one who has transformed. Okay, this one. So this is a very important passage, very important verse. In fact, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, oftentimes during the public teachings, he would always mention this. In Tibet, it is this is the Tibetan line. In English, the one who is transformed into the reliable guide, motivated by the altruism to benefit all sentient beings, the teacher, the Sugata, protector, to every prostrations. Okay, so this is a very important line, and this will give us inspiration. This will give us a courage and inspiration and hope that, okay, if I put effort, I can also manifest the Buddha nature within myself. So how? If you look at the history of the humanity, we see that this young Prince Siddhartha in his palace, young Prince Siddhartha, and then later on, he became the one referred to with the epithet, the fully awakened one, the enlightened one, the Gautama the Buddha. So, and if you really follow what he taught, we see that we can be inspired, we can be blessed, we can achieve enlightenment through the use of the reasoning of the power of the reasoning. And so many brilliant enlightened beings, brilliant, intelligent beings, exceptionally intelligent beings, they are all reliant on his teachings and become enlightened. Okay, interesting. One, how come that this Prince Siddhartha, he became so influential, who is able to influence the mind of the intellects, and all the intellects, they simply surrender to his wisdom, to his compassion. How come that this young prince became one like that? So this young prince, if you look at the history, he was just an ordinary prince, born with a special gift of compassion, with a special gift of intelligence. There is no doubt. But as an ordinary prince, as a prince, and then later, at the age of say 35, 36, he became a fully enlightened one. How come that he became enlightened one? Okay, so that is a great inspiration for us. Okay, so we go in search of his journey, how he traversed through this journey to his enlightenment. If we're able to track this journey so well, we can also follow this journey the way he did. One. Number two, this enlightened the Prince Damdul. In fact, two biographies. One, the common biography, according to the historical account, and the other one is the uncommon biography, meaning the reality. So according to the common biography, he was just a prince, of course gifted with compassion and special intelligence. He can just, even with the mundane arts, he would just excel everyone else. Okay, this much. And then later became such an enlightened one at the age of 35. Okay. Whereas according to the uncommon the biography, the real biography, who really the Prince Damdul or the Buddha was. So there, it's not that he became enlightened under the Bodhi tree, 2,500 years ago. He became enlightened many eons ago. This was the real biography. Many eons ago. Then in the biography which we read, he went into penance for 6 years, austerity, went under the Bodhi tree for 6 years, and then he became Buddha. So what is this biography? This is known as the common biography, or according to the historical account. And then if the real biography had that he became enlightened many eons ago, then what is this? So this is known as his deliberate display. Deliberate display. Display, for example, say the mother, when the child is little naughty, young child is very little naughty, then the mother will pretend as though because the young mother knows that the child loves the mother so much. So the mother, in order to stop the child behaving badly, the mother pretends as though like the mother feels so sad, or mother is sick. Then the child feels affected, becomes so emotional, and then I wish you don't do this bad thing, but the child stops doing the bad things. So these are all the plays and display of the mother in order to help the child to do good. Likewise, this Buddha displayed this, that he was once an ordinary prince, then he was disillusioned by the palace life, royal life, then he went in the path of the renunciate, then met with the first teacher, met with the second teacher, right? Met with the first teacher, the Kalam, the first teacher Kalam, and then the first teacher, then he saw the teachings from him, getting the teachings, then very soon he reached the same level of the realization as the teacher, then he sought for more teachings, and the teacher said that, no, I don't have any extra teaching, you have reached the same level as I have reached, now this is it. And then the Prince Damdul said that I'm still yet to find the solution to all the problems of the sentient beings. So then he went in search of the further teachings. And then he found the second teacher. So he had two human teachers, Kalam and Udreka. So he met the second teacher, Udreka. And again, the Udreka, he reached a very, very profound samadhi level. In the samsaric sense, the highest samadhi level. The only thing which was missing with the second teacher was that he did not have the wisdom of emptiness. Samadhi-wise, bright light and the steadiness. He had the steadiness, not the bright light. The wisdom of emptiness missing, steadiness reached the highest of the steadiness of mind. Okay, so Prince Damdul, again we see teachings from him, and then very soon Prince Damdul reached the same level of spiritual realization as a teacher. So he asked for more teachings. The teacher said, no, this is our ultimate. And there's no point in you going through for something else. You stay with me, and my students are your students also. Your students also, you could teach them. And the Buddha, again, Prince Siddhartha said that, no, I've come here to look for the solution to all the problems. I'm yet to find it. Then finally, he left for the 6 years of the austerity under the Bodhi tree, and then finally found this wisdom practice. With this, then he flared. His path simply flared in the quality and the realization, and then finally went through Gate, Paragate, Parasamati, Bodhisattva, and then at the dawn time, and he achieved the Buddhahood under the Bodhi tree. Okay, so this is the biography. So if you look at this biography, which he displayed in this short span of a long time, say since birth to like 35 years. 35 years. So what he did was that when 35, he became from the ordinary prince, he was transformed. He was transformed into the fully awakened being who is the guide to all the sentient beings towards enlightenment. So it says, the one who has transformed into the reliable guide. Okay, we are reading this, page 4, the second last paragraph. The one who has transformed into the reliable guide. This is main thesis. This main thesis, somebody who is able to guide all beings towards that ultimate happiness. Right? How come that he becomes such a guide? Okay, so now looking for this journey, we are tracking his journey. Initially, he was motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings. So that the one who has this Prince Siddhartha, who has transformed into the reliable, who was transformed into the reliable God. This is the main thesis. So now, if you follow him, if you follow his path, we will get to enlightenment. We will get to perfect the awakening, right? But how come that he became like this? How come that this young prince became such a reliable guide? Reliable guide, not that there is some intrinsically, suddenly there's one person came as a reliable guide. No, he was just ordinary prince. The way we are ordinary person, he was ordinary prince. And then how come that he becomes such a reliable guide later on? So the initial journey was triggered by, motivated by altruism to benefit all sentient beings. So how? In the palace, he could say that in the popular story, in the popular biography, we heard that the Prince Siddhartha, he met with the four sides. The four sides: sick person, death, old age, and the monastic, renunciate, four. Right? So then he began. So this is too simplistic. This is a fact. This is a fact, but it's too simplistic. The reality is that in the past he could see all the problems. How the royal, the princess, they bully the other people. He could see that. Devadatta, his cousin brother, from the royal family, how he was bullying everyone. Right? He was seeing all the pains in the palace. And then in those days, the kingdoms, they were fighting each other. How many people died? He could see all these things. And then the jealousy, fights, the pains, and the poor ones, they're suffering terribly, and the richer ones, or the more powerful ones, bullying, and the more powerful, they themselves are suffering terribly. He could see all these things, right? This is the reality. It's not just see one side, sick person. Okay, then ask the charity, Channa, right? Channa, is something which happened. Oh, he's already very smart, right? Channa knows and he doesn't know. This is unacceptable. He was born very smart. Channa and two of them, they were like age group. Same from age group. How come the Channa is more intelligent, more learned? No, this is more like a story to just convince the people, ordinary people to feel that, okay, this like very innocent, very naive prince becoming evolved. No, it's not like that. He was already very learned, very experienced. He was just observing all these things. Reality, this is reality. Seeing all these miseries and saying that there's no solution by staying in the palace. Saying that there's no solution by just being in the palace. At the most, what he can do is that he can become a king. When he can become a king, when he becomes a king, then he may bring about say, reforms. That nobody is allowed to do this, do that, do this, do that, so forth. But he cannot check the sickness. He cannot stop the sickness. Stop the aging. You cannot make rules and say that now aging is not allowed. Now sickness is not allowed. Now death is not allowed. Now the pain of losing the entire ones is not allowed. He cannot make these rules. So he saw that there are so many problems simply by becoming the king cannot resolve. So I must look for a solution. Because these beings are suffering terribly. So motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings. This tells us his life from birth till he was 29. All these 29 years of experience was in this line, motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings. Then what did he do? He left the palace, he went in search of the teacher to look for the path. So he met two teachers. Were they Nalanda and the teacher Udreka, right? Okay, so both could not really fulfill his aspiration. So finally what he did, he was going to do what? He was looking for what? He was looking for the path which he is to teach to all the beings. He was to teach. What is that path? If there is one path which he discovers, and teaching all sentient beings that the beings will be liberated, what is going to be that path? Tell me. The wisdom of emptiness. Very good. So the wisdom of emptiness is what he should look for, and that he should teach all beings. He should become a teacher of the wisdom of emptiness. This is what he's looking for. Number two is A. Teacher. Motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings, number one. So with this motivation, right, he went in search of something. He went in search of what? Search of the path which he has to teach the beings, so that the beings will be liberated from all problems. What is that path? The path is the wisdom of emptiness. This is what he should be teaching, on the basis of which he should become the teacher of the path of the wisdom of emptiness. Number two is the teacher. Right? So, first of all, to teach this, first he has to experiment it himself. Right? For example, say when the antibiotics or the medicine for the gastric, when that was invented by some pharmacy or whatever. So the person, in order to convince others that I have invented this medicine, right? So this has the capacity to get rid of the ulcer problem or gastric problem. So what did he do? First he cut things so that he has an acute gastric problem. With this, then he took the medicine and the gastric was over. So first of all, to see that whether this medicine is to be given to others, first he has to experiment himself. So the wisdom of emptiness as a medicine, which he eventually has to teach, first he experimented it on himself. Experimenting it on himself, what happens? With the wisdom of emptiness on the learning level, wisdom of emptiness on the reflection level, wisdom of emptiness on the meditation level. Within the meditation level, it's a conceptual meditation, conceptual experience of the wisdom of emptiness. Then direct experience or non-conceptual or non-dual experience of the wisdom of emptiness. Then he could see that the mental stains, they're going down, the mental defilements are disappearing, right? Fear is dissolving. These attachment, anger, jealousy, they're all slowly going away. Mental turbulence is going away. The calmness is coming in, becomes so intense. Finally, all the stains gone, and experience the ultimate bliss, Sugata. The one who has gone to the bliss, perfect bliss of freedom from the mental defilements. So that experience, so that is the Sugata. He experiences the Sugata himself through experimenting this wisdom on himself. he experienced Sugata. Once he experiences Sugatahood, then he becomes so confident. Now I have found the path. Then he starts to go to protect the beings by giving this teaching. Right? Then it made him protector. You getting it? So these four things. Motivated by altruism to involve sentient beings. Teacher, Sugata, protector. These are the four things which we see that gives us a conviction that he is the reliable guide. Right? There are so many teachers coming to this earth. So many teachers coming to this earth. Whose teachings should we follow? This question. This is a big question. Right? Okay, tell me. If there are 100 people, how many of them, majority of them will, what is the tendency for the majority of them to follow which path? The path which the family is still following, or the path which one explores rather than being filmed by the family? Explores family, majority, I asked majority, right? In fact, this was the question asked to me in Singapore. Usually the people who I met, they're all very pious, devotion, so forth, and very nice. In Singapore, it's very interesting. Singapore has a blend of the two things, the devotion and the intellectual rigor. Devotion from the Chinese tradition, ancient Chinese, not today's, ancient Chinese tradition, and the intellectual from the Britishers, because British conquered, right? British influence and the devotion and the wisdom both are there. This is beautiful, it's an amazing combination. So I was thinking, whenever I'm in Singapore, I have that feeling. Anybody who comes to see me or meet me would be very devoted like this. Okay. So once my host set one-on-one meeting with, and the person made a request. And I said yes. And he happened to be a professor. And I did not expect this question. He asked this question. He said, Geshela, you are a Buddhist. I said, yes. Tell me, do you think that you will be Buddhist if you are born in another religious family with another religion? Wow, very good. I said that this question is so good. This question is so good. This is how all these fights are happening. My religion, not exploring, right? Which actually suits you. Simply because you're born in this family with this particular religion, you think that this is the final, this is the ultimate. This is how people fight. Fanaticism grows like this. It festers because of this, right? I said this question is so important, right? In fact, I'm lucky that I got the modern education. With the modern education, and that I was enrolled in the monastery which had the intellectual rigor, the logic, open logic as the medium. So these two really saved me. That now what I believe in is all because of the rational thinking. Had it not been the case, I would have gone directly, totally blindly, right? Blindly. So I'm no exception. So this is what I said. Okay, now if you see this is beautiful. So finally, what should guide our life? What should be the driving force or the guidelines for a life is be kind to yourself and be wisely kind to yourself. On the basis of these two premises, lead your life, right? Okay. Now the question is, what is that thing which this Prince Siddhartha experimented and he experienced? All the mental stains, all the mental defilements disappeared, and then he experienced a total Sugatahood. What is that thing he experienced? So that you will find on page 3. Page 3? Page 3. In dependent origination, there is no ceasing nor arising. Okay, tell me, what is that? What is that thing which he was to teach all beings so the beings would be liberated from suffering? What is that thing?
Wisdom of
The wisdom of emptiness. What is the wisdom of emptiness like? This is explained here, right? Okay. This stanza is stanza written by Arya Nagarjuna. Arya Nagarjuna in Mulamadhyamika Karika in praise of the Buddha Shakyamuni. Right? It was Arya Nagarjuna's salutation to Buddha Shakyamuni. So Arya Nagarjuna, in all his texts, when he praised the Buddha Shakyamuni, he never praised the Buddha Shakyamuni for having performed miracles. Buddha Shakyamuni performed so many miracles, but Arya Nagarjuna never praised the Buddha Shakyamuni for having performed miracles. You know why? Buddha Shakyamuni performed miracles, but what can we do with this? Right? Whereas Buddha Shakyamuni teach emptiness, we can benefit directly, we can be benefited. So Arya Nagarjuna teach emptiness with the spirit of compassion. With the spirit of compassion. So that directly helps us. That is relevant to us. Otherwise, even if somebody is a billionaire, what use that the wealth is for us and for the other people, if the person is not kind to share that. So the miracle, how can the Buddha share this miracle with us? Right? Okay, I have 10% miracle, I have 100% miracle, I'll give you 10%. No, it's impossible. Whereas the wisdom of emptiness, he can directly share this with us. Compassion he can share, wisdom of emptiness he can share. So what is this wisdom of emptiness? Right? Okay, it says, wisdom of emptiness. Wisdom, this emptiness should be seen in the light of dependent origination. When things are seen in dependent origination, eight things, there are 8 things on the basis of which our mind is always hovering, always revolving. 8 phenomena, right? Okay, what are they? Say, first one is arising and ceasing, right? Okay, arising and ceasing. In fact, we can see that almost everything which is related to us, somehow they are related to arising and ceasing, right? If the happiness arises, you don't want to see the ceasing of this, but the ceasing happens. Happiness arises, happiness ceases. When the misery arises, you look for that the misery stops, it ceases, right? Okay. 2017 arose and 2017 ceases, right? And 2018 arose, and when the 2018 comes to an end, then people will celebrate the arising in 2019. You getting it? And the end of 2018, the BBC and the Ashta and all these the television channels, they will show you the overview of the 2008, which means that 2018 comes to cease, right? Arising, ceasing. Child is born, people celebrate. We don't know why people celebrate it, right? Hitler is born, people celebrate it, right? That day, people don't know that he's going to become such a destructive Hitler, but people celebrate it. Happy birthday, right? Okay, when a person dies, ceases, then people lament. When the bad people dies, people celebrate. When good people dies, people lament. People, goes into sorrow and so forth. So everything is governed by arising and ceasing, arising and ceasing, arising and ceasing. Okay, if you could see the emptiness of arising and ceasing, right, our mind will be greatly, greatly at peace and calm, because all the phenomena with which we interact, they are somehow related to the arising and ceasing, right? Okay, we are in 1/4, right? And then, okay, now this evening I have I have a meeting with my mother, meeting with my father, meeting with my brother, sister, whatever, right? I have a very important meeting or a business meeting. I'm looking forward to it, right? So the meeting is arising. And then this retreat is coming to cease, going to stop. Right? So this is how we see that everything arising, ceasing, arising, ceasing. When you see the emptiness of this, then almost that, like if not 100%, 99% of mind will be very calm and be
peaceful, because there's almost like all the things, there's nothing amongst the things with which you really do, which doesn't fall under this category, arising, ceasing, arising, ceasing. Okay, one. The next one is annihilation, permanence. So things, for example, our mind existing, lasting. This permanence is not the permanence in the context of the unchanging. This permanence means something lasts. Then annihilation, something disappears. Lasting and disappearing. Right? Okay. Even what we see as lasting, what we see as, say for example, some things like the Mount Kailash, Mount Everest, oh, they are lasting for long. Oh, may you live long, we pray. May you live long. May His Holiness live long. We pray like this. So that's lasting, concept of lasting. And then some, right? Okay, this flower, okay, we're going to keep this flower for the fruits. And you're going out for like 10 days, and you have some fruits here on the table. What? Oh, the fruits are fresh, but in 4 or 5 days time, the fruits will rot and it will smell, right? So, but knowing that this will not last, this will annihilate. The fresh fruit will annihilate. So then you remove this fruit. If you're going out just for 1 day, it's fine. But if you're going out for like 10 days, then you remove this. Okay, so annihilation and is the last thing, 2. Then separateness and oneness. Again, the world, right? Say that the Germany, West Germany, North Germany, what? East Germany, these two are one, these are separated by the communism, this is actually one, unification, German unification, wow, they celebrate, right? Unification, Tibet and China, no, they should be separated, right? So it should be separated, it should not be one. 2 Germany should be one, right? Korea, North Korea, South Korea, some people say they should be one, some say no, we are separate. So we just fight over this, right? Some people say Buddhism is Hinduism, some say no, Buddhism is not Hinduism, separate oneness and separateness, right? We see that this is how all the fights happen, right? And the families, in the India joint family, right? The parents, the grandparents, no, my children should not be separated, they should be in joint family. And the children, right? The children's children, they become cousins. We are not brothers, sisters, we are cousins, right? Why should we be in one family? But the grandparents, they see them as, no, you're all my children, you should be together. Oneness, differentness, wow, this is. So if you see the emptiness of oneness, emptiness of differentness, again we say the unnecessary problems, all on the basis of this, oneness and differentness, then all these unnecessary problems dissolve if you see the emptiness of the oneness and differentness. Okay, that is the no separateness and no sameness. And then coming and going. And again we see that almost everything is governed by the coming and going. Right? Okay, very complicated person comes, right? You look forward to that complicated person going out. When the person goes out, you're very happy. When the person comes in, right? And then you, after all these many days of works, then you look forward for going out for a vacation, right? And then the Monday morning, going to the work, Friday evening, wow, right? So this is, again, coming and going. So coming and going again plays a very important role in our life. We see the emptiness of the coming, emptiness of the going. Again, our life will become very easy and calm and peaceful. Okay, these are things these 8 phenomena which governs the life. So if we see the emptiness of these 8 phenomena, then we see that our life is so peaceful, calm, not affected by external factors. These 8 things can easily affect us. We see the emptiness of these 8, then our life can be much easy, much calm, peaceful, not affected. Okay, so now these 8 things affect us so greatly in our life. But if you see these 8 things in our life with dependent origination, when we see these 8 things as objectively real, independently real, we see that they are all deceptive. Independent coming and going, oneness, separateness, independent annihilation, and the permanence, independent arising and ceasing, these are all not true. In dependent origination, once you know emptiness in the light of dependent origination, then the independent 8 characteristics in the form of independence, they are all not true, they are all empty. So it says, in dependent origination, there is no ceasing, no arising. Meaning, okay, this is one way of understanding. Another way of understanding, which you already learned before, is that when you see these 8 things, which we see as always objectively real, and then that creates so much turbulence of emotions. When we subject these 8 things to the ultimate analysis, what do you see? The 8 things:
Nothing.
arising, ceasing, permanence, annihilation, coming, going, oneness, separateness. These 8 things, when you subject to the ultimate analysis, all the 8 things will dissolve. You see the emptiness. They are empty. You're getting it? So imagine that in dependent origination, when you say independent origination, meaning that you go into this level, you go into this, when you subject these 8 things to the ultimate analysis. Now your mind assumes the state of the ultimate analysis. In the ultimate analysis, these 8 things, they're all empty. Right? These 8 things are the ones, seeing them as independently real, objectively real, stirs our emotions. Right? Stirs, that fluctuates, stirs the emotions so much. We just toasted the emotions and fluctuations. Okay, so the Buddha taught how to stay in this experience of the ultimate analysis, so that all the independent, things perceived as independent existence will all dissolve. Okay, it says, in dependent origination, there is no ceasing, no arising, no annihilation, no permanence, no coming, no going, no separateness and no sameness. I prostrate to the consummate Buddha, the supreme among all teachers, the one who taught this peace. Okay, once you stay in this experience, ultimate analysis of the eight things which govern our activities, which govern our emotions, right? 8 things. Then these 8 things, 8 phenomena of dependent origin, they all dissolve. When we dissolve, then nothing is there which stirs our emotions. Our emotions will find the rest. Our mind will find the rest, right? Your mind will find the peace. It says, the one who taught this peace, the one who taught this peace. What peace? Peace from what? Peace because there's no object which can pull and push. Your mind is not under the sway of the pull and push. There's no object which pulls and pushes you. So your mind finds a peace. This peace devoid of elaborations which pull and push you. These 8 elaborations which pull and push you is empty there. So therefore there's nothing there which pull and push you. So your mind finds a peace and rest. This peace and rest is not what your mind fabricates. This is something which you can actually experience on the discovery of the reality. Right? Okay. Who taught this? Who taught this?
Buddha.
I prostrate to the consummate Buddha. Consummate meaning someone who has perfected in this path. The consummate Buddha, the supreme among all teachers. Why is supreme among all teachers? What's the purpose of teacher? Teacher is to guide us. Guide us towards what? Guide us towards the state of the what I want. What do you want? I want fearlessness and I want infinite happiness. Anyone who can guide me there, that's a supreme teacher. Right? And the one who taught this wisdom, where, as I said yesterday, when we discussed that, there are 2 ways of controlling emotions. One, okay, so you are diabetic, right? And then you are so fond of Coca-Cola. Okay, how many of you are fond of Coca-Cola? Not so much. Okay, 1. 2 others? Not so much. Okay, afraid of Coca-Cola. Not really. Yeah, okay. Chocolate? Yeah, Swiss chocolate. Okay, that's a Swiss chocolate. So you are diabetic and there's a bunch of Swiss chocolate. And you are cut off from Swiss chocolate for the last 2 years. And suddenly Swiss chocolate appeared on your birthday, right? Wow. Okay. So now what happens is that then you're bound to grab at it, and Dover sees that and says, hey, no chocolates, right? Why? It's my birthday. No, you're diabetic. Yes. But mind doesn't say yes, right? Because I'm diabetic, rationally, I should not be eating it. Emotionally, I want it, right? Okay, rationally, I cannot eat it, but emotionally, I want it. Okay, so you're stopping it. You're forcing yourself to stop. You force yourself to stop. Okay, no. Take it away, right? Right? Take it away. Or don't keep it in my eyesight, right? Take it away. Which means that you're forcing to take it away. You like it, but you force to take it away. This is one way of cutting yourself from what disturbs you, what brings you miseries. Force yourself to separate yourself from that object which disturbs you. One. Another one is without the force, naturally happening, automatically happening, naturally happening without any force. Make it very natural, right? What's the problem? Problem is the chocolate is the problem? But you took away the chocolate then. Why did you ask the person to take away the chocolate if the chocolate is not a problem? Right? Chocolate is not a problem. What's the problem? Attachment to the chocolate is the problem. So the mind goes after it. Right? So therefore, now one is forcing yourself to be separate from the object. One. Number two is to see the emptiness of the chocolate. To see, if you really get the glimpse, really feel that the chocolate is not really there from the object side, if you really get it, instantly the pull stops, automatically stops. Instantly you feel it, that being pulled, but always constantly being pulled. Then you meditate on the emptiness of the chocolate, you get it, instantly the mind stops. Mind stops on its own. Right? Mind stops. So the mind doesn't go towards the chocolate. It is like the chocolate is far away. Chocolate being far away and chocolate very near, but purpose is the same. Chocolate taken far away is, so the mind doesn't follow that. Now the mind is not following. Even if it is very near, it is not following it. So this is because, and you don't have the pain, you don't have to force yourself, and it happens. How? Because seeing the emptiness. So therefore, this is so precious practice. Okay. So who's able to teach us this? That is the supreme among all teachers. So at the time of Bodhisattva, there were so many teachers before him, after him, but who really taught this, right? If you look at the various teachings, various systems, traditions, you say, hey, don't do this, don't do this. There are so many don't do this, do's and don'ts. There are so many, right? Whereas the Buddha finally taught that you don't do this are like the beginners. The beginner, you have to give this instruction, don't do this, like this, because your experience of emptiness is so weak. Once you get it very strong, then the rules are not required actually. Don't do this. Don't do this means, right? Why? Your mind is following this or running away from this. Following this or running away from this. Following and running, this is a problem, not the object. And you can stop this following and running without removing the object by seeing the emptiness of the object. Right? This is beautiful. And who's taught this? And with this same object, when the object is taken away from you, right? How reliable is this so that your mind will not chase after the object? How reliable is that? Not so reliable. Anytime the object can come suddenly, right? Say, your teacher says, hey, your doctor says no chocolate. And then your mother may secretly bring a chocolate, right? So therefore, it is not the lasting solution. What's the lasting solution? If you see the emptiness of chocolate, when the doctor says, hey, no chocolate, take the chocolate away, and your mother brings the chocolate, still your mind will not follow this. Right? So therefore, this is the ultimate solution. This is so precious. And who taught this? Bodhisattva. So there says, I prostrate to the consummate Buddha, the supreme among all teachers. Okay. Okay, we will now go to continue with the text. So again, we see that within this text, at one point again, they are the position of the non-Buddhists coming. We'll skip those things, right? We'll skip those things, and then I think that today we'll finish this. There's no problem. Okay, which stanza we were reading?
92.
92. Okay. So therefore, this line, the one who is transformed into the enlightened guide, motivated by altruism to benefit all sentient beings, the teacher, the Sugata, and the protector to animal frustrations. If you can recite this on a daily basis, the moment you start your day, if you can recite this on a daily basis, while reflect on the meaning, taking these two lines as a source of inspiration for you to follow this path, this line, the next line, to Buddhahood. If this is what you can do, this is amazing. This will give you this will implant a very strong imprint of what is the blueprint of your life. You will have the blueprint of life every day, even in the next lines. You will have a very clear-cut blueprint of your life. Oftentimes, people come to me and ask, I could not really understand what's the meaning of my life. What's the meaning of my life? There are so many people who ask this question. In fact, the fact that somebody asks this question itself is amazing, wonderful. Because the person is seriously thinking, and many people, they even don't understand, what you're saying. Hey, so you're born in a family, one particular business. And then you just blindly go there. You don't ask them, should I be doing this? No, why should I be doing this? What is the purpose of life? Most people, they even don't think about this. Right? Should there be someone who would think about it, even that is so precious. That person will find the meaning of the life, the blueprint of the life. So what is the blueprint of life for us? If you are somebody who seeks total fearlessness, who does not like the fear, who seeks total fearlessness, and if you are somebody who seeks the infinite happiness, the blueprint is these two lines. Right? The one who is transformed into the reliable guide, motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings, the teacher, the Sugata, the protector, to your frustrations. This is the blueprint of your life. Right? Okay. Okay, 92 finished? Not finished?
Not finished.
Not finished, 92. Okay. Because of that, one should meditate on this analytical remedy, the concentrated mind that grows from the field of examination is the food of the yogis. Okay, that's 91. Suppose you say, but with the arising of discordant conditions, there is no arising of suffering. Well, it is not established that a feeling is merely something imputed by perception of thought. So what it says here is that the feeling, we are doing the what? The mindfulness of the feeling. Mindfulness of the body, mindfulness of the feeling, mindfulness of the what is it? Mindfulness of the body, mindfulness of feeling, mindfulness of mind, mindfulness of phenomena. Four. Of the four we are doing the second one, mindfulness of the feeling. So this is more like the summation, summary. The feeling, even the feeling does not exist objectively real. So the summary given here is that same feeling, when you get good feeling, for example, say someone who's so fond of food, right? Eating good food gives me good feeling. Right? It gives me good feeling. Okay, so but this feeling that if the feeling is objectively real, it should be fixed. Fixed meaning that eat good food and you'll have good feeling, 100%, objectively, right? It doesn't have to depend on any other factors. But in actuality, same, when you're going through a very low state of mind, acute feel of sadness, loneliness, to the extent of depression. even what usually gives you happiness by eating the food. You eat the food, happiness, the feeling, pleasant feeling doesn't come. You getting it? Do you have this experience? How many of this experience? Robin, no experience? Okay, anyone else? Shabila, you have experience? Shabila has no experience. Huh? Amben, you have experience. Ravi?
I get angry at that, but
You get angry at food.
not food.
Then
when you're very angry with somebody or some situations you're not so comfortable in,
Then?
the mood is so bad.
no.
Then at times, you don't.
You eat something delicious, even that is not delicious.
That's actually
Exactly. Exactly. So say that the feeling is very interesting. In fact, I remember myself when I was very young, maybe age 11 or 12, 10 or 11. 10 or 11. So winter, the school would take all the school children for I think 1 night, 2 days, 1 night picnic. I think there was a Kanga in the area. So I didn't know that I was sick. I was very young. And then how can the staff check each of the child whether they are sick or not, right? I was sick. I didn't know that I was sick. And what happened was that and in school we hardly get momos. And momos the favorite food of all the children. Right? We hardly get momos. And that picnic, the afternoon, the lunch, no, the evening, the dinner was momo. And I became so slow, right? I didn't know that I was sick. I became so slow, I was not interested in playing. Other children they play, I was just sitting by myself. And discomfort was there, but not knowing, sick. Then the cooks, they were preparing cooks, and the senior, the students, they were helping the cooks to make momo. I could smell, the smell spreads, and I could smell it. I could feel nausea, right? And then it was time for the dinner, and everyone getting the momos. And I simply did not like to eat momos. It's just making me throw. Then momos, with the momos, 1 orange given to everyone. I just ate the orange. Orange is fine, but the momos, the smell, it just made me throw up. So then later on I realized that even the feeling, pleasant feeling, momo is a pleasant feeling. That's not true. It's the same momo. But when something is going wrong in your body, you cannot trigger this pleasant feeling within you, even if the momo comes in contact with you. Pleasant feeling is not triggered, right? Okay, likewise, say, if you're physically very healthy, then how many of you like momos? If you're physically very healthy, okay, then this afternoon we will give you momos, right? Give momos, so happy. Okay, how many momos? 50 momos each. Right? First momo, very delicious. Second momo, very delicious. Third, fourth, fifth, sixth, okay. Right? Now 10 momo? No. 15th momo, please take it away. 50. Which is more delicious? First momo or the 15th momo? First one. Now keep the first one the last. And which is delicious one, keep it last. Eat the 15th one first. Right? And then if you eat the 15th one, wow, then it will give you happiness? No, it's the same. Object per se, whether it's the first or 50th, it does not have the capacity to give rise to the happiness. It's just trigger, it serves as a condition. But in actuality, these pleasant feelings come from within, not from the momos. When the factor is not intact within you, this momo does not have the capacity to trigger this happiness. So even these feelings are dependent on other factors, not independent in the air, right? So this is the summary, 92. Because of that, one should meditate on now. If the feelings are not independently real, We see the feelings as independent real, and because of which we fight for the feelings, right? Wars are fought because of that, right? And the kings, in some cases the kings, they fight wars over the queens, over the wives. So many wars are fought over that in the history of humanity, right? Okay. Because of that, one should meditate on that analytical remedy. What is that analytical remedy? Remedy to see the emptiness of the feelings. The concentrated mind that grows from the field of examination. The concentrated mind meaning the wisdom with the concentration, wisdom for the light, concentration for the steadiness, the concentrated wisdom that grows from the field of examination. Field of examination meaning analytical meditation on emptiness. Analytical meditation on emptiness, this is the food of the yogis. What yogis will survive on. Survive meaning what the yogis crave for, what the yogis look for is the metaphorical food of the meditative concentration, focus on the wisdom of the emptiness of the feelings. Okay, 93. 93. Now, the feelings that's been tackled from different angles. Now, how that is tackled is saying the feelings come into being through the combination of, for example, say the flowers. Say you are in a place which is very dirty, the neighborhood is very dirty, stinky, everything so gloomy and dusty like this for months and months and months and months, and the flowers drooping, right, very dusty. You just crave to have a fresh air. Then suddenly you are in a place which is so beautiful, so clean. What happens? Then a very pleasant feeling comes in you. Pleasant feeling comes in you. So this pleasant feeling comes to you because of three things. One is object. Object which is pleasant, which is the nice, attractive object. Then number two is your eyes, the sense power. Let's say eye sense power. Eye sense power. Number three, your consciousness. These three things come into contact, right? See, even if there's a beautiful flower there, you just come for that, and then somehow somebody blindfolded you, right? You cannot enjoy this beautiful flower. The flower is right in front of you, but you cannot enjoy it because the flower and your eye consciousness still are not coming in contact. You getting it? Okay. Now, even if you have a very bright eyesight, but if the flower is not there, you cannot enjoy the flower. Why? Because the object is missing. So the object is required, and your eye sense power is required. And then even if the flower is there, your eye sense power is there, but your mind is busy listening to the music. Again, you cannot enjoy the flower. So the mind is required, mental consciousness is required, consciousness is required, eye sense power is required, the object is required. These three things are required for you to enjoy the sensual objects, like the flower. Okay. So now, these three things, you will have the feeling of the pleasant feeling through the meeting of the three things. What are they? Object, the sense power, and the consciousness. These three things should meet. Then the pleasant feeling comes, or the unpleasant feelings comes. Okay, so let's see. Now, the author is, Bodhisattva Shantideva is examining that without the meeting of these three things, the pleasant feeling cannot arise, unpleasant feeling cannot arise, pertaining to the object. And if the meeting doesn't happen, then this doesn't. And where is the meeting? In fact, there's no meeting happening. Without a meeting, the feelings cannot arise. So, the meeting is not happening. So, what we think as getting the feeling, this is like illusion. Because the meeting is not happening. Okay, say you're blindfolded. Your eye sense power is there, and you want to see the flower. You're blindfolded, and the flower is in front of you. Are you enjoying the flower? Tell me. No, why not? Because there's no meeting between the object flower is the object, and your eye sense power. There's no meeting, right? Okay. So it says But the flower and ice sense power, it doesn't really meet, right? The flower and ice sense power, it doesn't really meet. The flower is far away. Flower and me, there's like at least 2 feet distance. Flower and my sense power do not meet, but the light from the flower meets with my eye sense power. The light from the flower, right? Okay, there's a meeting happening. But Bodhisattva Shantideva will challenge us that even the light and eye sense power, they don't meet. Okay, let's see. This is very interesting. Okay, if there is a gap, what's the opposite of meet? Gap. When there's a gap, you don't meet. You're getting when there's a gap, there's no meeting. Oh, say, if there's a gap between sense power, your eye sense power, and its object, the flower, if there's a gap, not the flower, the light of the flower, let's say, the light of the flower, if there's a gap, then the light of the flower and the eye sense power do not meet if there's a gap. If there's a gap between the sense power and its object, where would they meet? For example, say that your tongue and the food, chocolate, these two should meet, right? So say your tongue, the sense power, and the chocolate, do they meet or not? They don't meet. No. Right? Say if your tongue is sedated and you put the chocolate, will you feel the taste? No. Why not? Because they don't meet. So to feel the experience of the chocolate, the tongue should meet with the chocolate. Okay, let's see. If there is a gap, if there's a gap between the tongue and the chocolate, then sense power, the tongue sense power and the chocolate object, where would they meet? They don't meet. And if there is no gap, right? If no, they meet, there's no gap. If they meet, then there's a problem. What's the problem? Okay, let's say that, who's the opponent? Bodhisattva Shantideva is trying to prove that the feeling does not exist objectively. Who's the opponent? Opponent who believe that the feelings exist objectively. Who are they? We are the ones, right? Are we the ones who believe that everything exists objectively? Yes. So those who believe in things as objectively real, right? In fact, I think the 2 days ago, was it yesterday or 2 days ago? Yesterday, when Rashmi and the group discussed, when was that?
2 days ago.
Huh?
Day before yesterday.
Huh?
Day before yesterday.
Rami, when was that?
2 days. Not yesterday.
Okay, 2 days ago. Okay, Rashmi was very clear. Okay. Okay, let's say the discussion was that if you believe that the sense power, the flower, the chocolate, they exist objectively, which means that independent of mind, there should be something there. There should be something there. But what is this chocolate? There's no really chocolate over there. You split that into smaller parts, eventually you will find the atoms. Right? Atoms. And then atoms are not chocolate. Right? Atoms are not chocolate. Never mind. Atoms are not chocolate, but the atoms exist intrinsically. But nowadays we will say even atoms can be split into electrons, protons, neutrons, quarks. Let's say quarks, the basic building blocks like quarks, electrons, protons, these exist truly. They exist objectively. Put them together, then it takes a form of chocolate. So therefore the chocolate is the outcome of the truly existent particles. So therefore the chocolate also exists truly. You're getting it? This is how they say. If this is the case, then the chocolate made of particles, my tongue sense power made of particles, right? Made of particles. So the subtlest particle, if they exist objectively, then they should be partless in nature. Partless. You get it? If there's a part, again it gets split into two. Again it disappears. So it should be partless. If it does exist objectively. You understand it? Okay, now let's say that we take, say the chocolate. Okay, let's say the biscuit and my tongue, I eat it, right? And these two touch. What we see is touch. If they don't touch, I cannot taste it. They touch. If they touch, you go into the macro level. We see that there must be some parts with the tongue, some part with the chocolate that the two touch. So what is that part? The particles from the chocolate and particles from the tongue sense power. These two should touch. And particles, the subtlest particles, if they exist objectively, they should be partless. If it was partless, okay, now tell me. Partless means, what do you mean by partless? Anyone?
You can't separate, make smaller pieces.
What do you mean by partless particle?
Doesn't have parts.
Which doesn't have parts? Parts like what?
Like leg,
East, west, north, south, top, down, right? It should not have these parts. If it does not have these parts, then say this is the one particle, this is the particle from the chocolate. This is particle from the tongue sense power. Okay, now these two, sense the particle from the chocolate, particle from the tongue sense power. Now this is going to meet. Do they meet? Let's say they meet. If they meet, what's the problem? If they meet, what's the problem? If they meet, there's a problem. What's the problem? This is very important. Wonderful. Rahim, say it again. If they meet, what's the problem?
The two parts coming together.
Okay. There are two parts coming together. So what's the problem?
But they are partless.
attachment, for instance.
Okay.
They are not distinct anymore.
How? This is still from the chocolate, this is still from the tongue sense power. What's the problem?
The right side is touching the left side of that one.
So what's the problem? Okay, listen. Listen. When they touch at the spot, within this part, the particle from the tongue, is there a part which touches with the chocolate, and is there a part which does not touch with the chocolate? This side doesn't touch with the chocolate, this side touches with the chocolate. You're getting it? So which means within that there are two parts. One which touches the chocolate, one which doesn't touch the chocolate. Right? Then it is not a partless particle. If it does not become a particle, again it disappears. So again it does not exist objectively. Right? So, no, it does touch. If it touches, let's say A and B, A side, B side. If A touches the chocolate particle, we should also touch the chocolate particle. Because there should be no part which touch and which does not touch. Right? If A touches, we should also touch. If the A touches, where A touches the chocolate particle, we should also touch. Where is the B? B is here. So B should go inside. So the chocolate particle and the tongue particle, these two become same. These two conflate. Right? You getting it? If these two conflate, two things conflate, it's not touching. It's only one thing. Yeah. Touch means that two don't conflate, they touch. But two of them conflate. Now there are no two things, it's only one thing. If one thing does not touch anything, to touch there should be minimum two. Right? Okay. So therefore, you say meat and partless, these two are contradictory. Meat and partless means contradictory. For example, say elephant is the biggest animal in the world. Let's say elephant is the biggest animal in the world, which is bigger than human beings. And elephant is in my pocket. These two are contradictory. Elephant is the biggest animal in the world, and this elephant cannot fit in this form, but it is in my pocket. This is contradictory. To say the two particles are partless and to say the two particles meet, this is contradictory. You getting it? Okay, write this, and if possible, going back to Shantideva, you have to discuss this. How, if two things are partless, how they cannot meet? Right? I'm going to explain this once more for your more discussions in Jerusalem. Okay, first, the main premise is, if two things are partless, they cannot meet. This is the main premise. If two things are partless, they cannot meet. Okay, how? I'm going to give you some clues. This can help you get there. Okay. If two things are partless, then the particle A, first particle A should have no parts. When particle A touches particle B, there should be no part within particle A which does not touch particle B. You getting it? So, say within particle A, there's a side 1, side 2. When the side 1 touches the particle B, side 2 should also touch particle B, which means that the two things will conflate. Identically conflate. If these two identically conflate, then these two become one. If it's one, there are no two things. If there's no two things touch meet doesn't make any sense. Meet means there should be two things meeting. There's no meeting there. It's just one thing.
So are you trying to say that when you mean that two things are meeting, that particle A's outside part and particle B's outside part are not touching each other? So, but when they conflict, it means that it merges. Is that what you're trying to do?
Yes, yes.
But then oil and water, if you take,
Sorry?
oil and water,
Or let's say, instead of oil and water, let's say
well, if you put oil and water,
oil will surface.
yeah, but then if you take each two particles, then one can cover the other, for example, or even your tongue and chocolate. Let's say the particle of the tongue, if it is covered completely by the particle of the chocolate, they're two separate things still, they're not one.
These two don't conflate. These two conflate meaning they occupy the same space. Whereas the same this biscuit smeared with chocolate.
Yes.
Smeared chocolate fully. Chocolate covers only the surface outside and biscuit is inside. These two occupy two different spaces. So this is not the two things don't conflate. Conflate means they occupy the same space identically. Okay.
But when we say take a example of the biscuit, so the wheat flour and maybe the sugar, the fine sugar, can we say those things conflict?
No. Sugar and the wheat flour, these occupy two different spaces, right? And because of which they grow in size. If they conflict, they never grow. You add more sugar, you add more, say, flour, they keep growing in size.
So
Grow size means?
since the particles are like indivisible,
Yes.
they occupy individual
Space, yes. Yeah.
They can never meet.
Okay, now this question, do they meet or not? From what we've learned from this logic, we realize. I'm not saying that we have to say. There are two things. We have to say and we now realize two things. Right? We realize that if these two particles, if the two particles are what? If the two particles are partless, they can never meet. Right? They can never meet. If the particles are partless, they will never meet. Okay. Right? We realize it's not that we are saying this. We have to say this. No. Never go for this. We have to say this because it is said by him. Because it's said by the Buddha. Never go for this. The Buddha guides us. 2 + 3 = 5. Right? And when you become a physics professor, still say 2 plus is 5 because I was taught by my teacher. Don't say this. How do you know that 2 plus 3 is 5? I know this. They say this. Don't say that. Don't quote someone. Because it is your knowledge now. Right? So whereas say when are you born? I'm born on this date. How do you know this? My mother said it. Till death, you can say like this, my mother said, because you have never seen when you're born, you have never seen when you're born, and then you have to depend on someone else. But 2 plus 3 equals 5. Don't say that when you become 30, 40, 50, 60, still don't say that, oh, this is what my mathematics teacher says. Right? You say, I know this. 2 plus 3 equals 5. How? 2 apples, 4 mangoes, 5 fruits. This is what I know, right? So therefore, this should approach. Okay, now we have.
When we talk about this partless
Particles.
So any particle, any object with parts or without parts, if you subject that to ultimate analysis, they will be eventually partless.
Okay, this is what they will eventually disappear, or they will eventually be partless. Okay, this is what you think. This is what you're thinking. If you think like this, now is your job. If you think no, I'm very serious. If you get your own thinking, that is very precious. Be it wrong, be it right, it doesn't matter, right? The moment you have your own thinking, know what Bodhisattva Shantideva said. I don't get it. I think that the particles, when you break it down to ultimate analysis, finally there should be particle which is partless. If you have your own position, this is so precious. It doesn't matter. Even if it disagrees with the Buddha's view, Bodhisattva Shantideva's view, it doesn't matter. That is so precious, to have your own view. This is so precious. But don't be stubborn. Stubborn meaning, this is what I think. No matter what you think, okay, this is your point. I will think like this. Right? 2 plus 2 is 5. 2 plus 2 is what? 4. It's not 5. Oh, I think 2 plus 2 is 5. You say, organized is 5. Oh, who cares? No, don't teach me. I think it's 4. This is too stubborn. Right? Maintain your own position. Meanwhile, be open-minded. Ready, be receptive to listen to what others have to say. Compare what you think and what others say. Compare. If what others says is more intelligent, discard your position. And if you think that others can add to what you said, then add. Right? Don't be stubborn. To have your own position is very precious, but maintain an open-mindedness. This is very important. Okay. Okay, so for GSC, the point is that when you have this position that there should be some partless particle, then you have to study Acharya Vasubandhu's 20 stanzas. Right? 20 stanzas. It is quoted here in this book. It is quoted here in this book. Okay, where is this? Anyone? It should be on some way ultimate reality in Madhyamika philosophy. Do you see something of this in the table of contents?
208.
208. Go to 208. 208.
That's on page 209.
And now, yes, what Shweta said is saying that the text starts from 208. But a section which JC should be learning is on 209. Acharya Vasubandhu's 20 stanzas. So this is just a small extract. This reasoning is so powerful to reject partless particles. Right? This stanza, although said by Acharya Vasubandhu, is used by all the Madhyamika philosophers. Acharya Vasubandhu is following more of the Chaitamata philosophy. But this reasoning is used by Madhyamikas. Okay, now let's read this one. 93. If there is a gap between the sense power and its object, where would they meet? If there's no gap, then what happens? They would fuse as ones, meaning this would conflate as one. If they conflate, then there's no meeting. So the meeting would be of what with what. If they conflate, it's just one thing. If it becomes one, then what meets with what? There should be two things. 94. Yet, there cannot be penetration of a particle by a particle. Now, the two particles, if these two are partless particles, and if they meet, they should penetrate. Penetrate meaning conflate. Conflate, but the conflation of two particles can never happen. 94. Yet, there cannot be penetration of particle by particle. They have no empty space and they are of uniform size. The two are within the particles, there's no empty space. It's just full, it's partless. And the two are of the same size. Same size. When there's no penetration, there's no commingling. If they don't conflate, then the two will not commingle. If they don't commingle, when there's no commingling, there's no meeting. So the two will not meet. Right? The two particles, partless particles, cannot meet. Okay. 94. 95. Moreover, for something that is partless, how could that might be called a meeting properly take place? Now, it's more like a summary. If two things are partless, the two cannot meet at all. If a meeting and being partless can be observed, then show it please. Okay, this is the conclusion. The meeting of the two partless particles. The two things are partless and they also meet. This is contradiction. Right? This, see if you can discuss in Ling during the Sunday meetings. Okay. 96. For a consciousness now, we're talking about the object, sense power, and what? Consciousness. Three things. Now meeting with the object and the sense power already discussed. Now meeting with not only these two, these two should also meet with the consciousness, right? With the consciousness. Consciousness, how can the consciousness meet with the particles? Because consciousness doesn't have a physicality. Without physical can meet with the physical. Okay. 95. No, 96. For a consciousness which is immaterial or non-physical, a meeting is untenable. Collection as well does not truly exist. So with this, say, collection of particles of the chocolate and collection of particles of the... Earlier we talked about the single particle. Particle from the chocolate, particle from the tongue sense power. Now collection of particles from the chocolate, collection of particles from the tongue sense power, even they cannot meet. Because individual meet, do not meet, so collection, how can they meet? A collection as well does not truly exist, because the collection, what is collection? The collection of the particles of the individual rejected, collections of particles of the chocolate, collections of the particles of the tongue sense power, that also does not exist truly. Because collection is like a forest. The collection of the trees. From distance we can see the forest. When you go too close to the object, forest disappears. We only see the individual trees. So even the collection is also not truly existent. Okay. The analysis of the collection of words undertaken previously is also applicable here. Okay, collection of words. Let's say, okay, how many of you, once upon a time, how many of you were unhappy? Once upon a time. All of us. Let's say, now this is the day today that you are unhappy. That day when you are unhappy. What do we say? I am unhappy. You getting it? So, how many words are there? I am unhappy. 5 words are there. So the collection gives the impression that I'm unhappy. Okay. I am unhappy. Richard. I am unhappy. Okay. I am very unhappy. Okay, don't forget. Your job is to say this. I am very unhappy. Say it. Okay, what did you hear? I'm very unhappy. Right? So you heard the collection. You heard the collection. Then you come and say they are separated by wall. And you ask, hey, how are you? What did you hear? I'm very unhappy, right? So you are concerned. You break the wall and come in. Hey, are you unhappy? Who said it? I just pee. Right? I didn't say I'm very happy, right? I just said pee. Hey, are you unhappy? Right?
Yeah, I'm just happy.
I just had, right? I just said unhappy. Who said it? Right? I'm very happy. Hey, you're the one happy. Huh? No, you're the one who's unhappy. No, who said it? I'm very happy. I just said right? And you, I just said reading, right? Who said that I'm unhappy? Who said it? Right? I just said well. And I finished. Nobody said that I'm unhappy. But did you hear that somebody said I'm unhappy? Okay, listen. Hey, be more active. What did you hear? You undeniably heard that I'm unhappy. Somebody said I'm unhappy. But when you check, nobody said it. Nobody said it. But you heard it. You heard what? The collection of the words. You have heard the collection of the words. Where is this collection of words? It should be actually said by someone. Nobody said it. This illusion. Right? You just picked up the individual words. And your mind put them all together and create just one unit called as I am unhappy. Right? So there's nothing really is collection. It's just your mind who picked up all these things and create illusion of one unit known as I'm unhappy. Okay, so this is known as how the collection of the words are not truly existent. 97. And so like that, when contact does not do, now because of this we see that the contact does not really happen. Contact. If the contact does not happen, the feeling, how can the feeling arise? So we get the feeling that, yes, I'm feeling very pleasant because because I ate the chocolate, I have the contact with the chocolate. It's all just illusion. Right? Okay. Okay. 97. And so like that, when contact doesn't truly exist, from what does the feeling arise? Feeling arises only through the contact. So from where does the feeling arise? For what reason then is all this painful effort made? We put so much of painful effort, right? Okay, say what? Okay, let's give an example. Say some people they go into drugs, right? And then their parents they say no, don't go for drugs. Their parents are very unhappy, they're very sad. But the child goes for drugs, right? And then they love their parents so much, but they cannot control this. They exert so much effort despite making their parents unhappy, they themselves feeling unhappy. Still they go for the drugs. Why? With the drugs, what happens? What happens?
The craziness, delusion, sickness,
So basically, they crave for the feeling, that feeling, whatever delusion, but they crave for this feeling. You're getting it? So for this feeling, they exert so much effort at the cost of the parents' peace of mind and so forth, at the cost of your own successful, the successful career and so forth. They exert so much effort. So it says that why? If you want to know that this feeling, which should otherwise come from the contact, and contact is not happening. So the feeling is illusion, right? So when this, why do we have to exert so much effort in order to look for this feeling, which is actually like illusion? Okay.
Geshela, I have one question. This earlier part you were talking about this coming together, the words together. No? So in real life, I mean the conventional real life, when we are upset about any situation, So the remedy is to break that situation into tiny particles and see the emptiness of each unit, then we'll get over the sadness. Is that how it may work?
This. So for that, first we have to train, right? First we have to train. When you are training as a boxer, right? Don't just go into competition directly, they will punch you, right? First you have to train, right? During the training time, you do it separately. Actually, application happens when you become a little strong, right? So this exercise breaking into pieces and so forth. Actually, when you say, I am very unhappy, when you break this, what are we doing? We are subjecting this to ultimate analysis. Are you getting it? Or say, right? The connection to words. But these 7 different people said it, so that is different. But I'm the same person, I'm saying, I am unhappy. This is slightly different. It's the same. How? You say, I am very unhappy. There are 7 moments. First moment says, I am left, finish, job is done. Then the second moment comes. And these 7 moments, they don't come together. If they come together, then there's a collection which comes together, which says, I am very unhappy. No, the first word comes, I said, I and then left. Right now the rest is not my job. The first word left. Then the second word comes, says, am and then left. And the remaining, they are yet to come. Right? And second one says, my job is to say, and my job is done. Like the nurse's rotation. Right? The nurse's rotation. Okay, the particular lengthy, the work is very intense. Okay, every hour one nurse comes, the first hour nurse is here, the second hour nurse comes from here, and the first hour left. 2 of them never meet. Right? Second comes here, I'm the second person. Then the third comes, second one left, and the third comes. So I saw that there's a continuously nurse existing in the air. But in actuality, there's no one nurse which stays for 24 hours. Right? It's all different nurses. And if you ask, right? If you ask, even all these different nurses, they even don't know each other. They even do not meet themselves. Right? One left from the door, other one came from the door. Right? They even don't meet themselves. Okay, so likewise, that within your words, we subject this to as I am very unhappy. You subject to ultimate analysis. How? I am very, and they're all very different moments. There's no one moment which says that I am very unhappy, right? Okay. So you do this over and over again, then at a certain point you see that this is really like illusion. Then you can apply this to your actual life. When you feel unhappy, when you confront with other people. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Well, 97. And so like that, when contact doesn't truly exist, but what does the feeling arise? Or for what reason then is all this painful effort made in order to get a feeling? Made for whom? And from what can harm occur? Say, this can be applicable to the happiness, this can be applicable to the harmful feeling also. With the harmful feeling, when you see the same thing, it's applicable same to the harmful feelings. With the same thing, then the feeling, harmful feeling, who is that person? That person who created this harm, that's illusion life. Who receives the harm, that's illusion life. And what feeling came, that's illusion life. For whom? To whom? And from what? From what pain? From what feeling of the pain can harm occur to you? This is all just illusion. 98. And when no truly existent one feels meaning, when no truly existent person, one meaning the person feels, and feeling as well doesn't truly exist, then seeing the situation, why is craving not eliminated? So therefore, seeing the emptiness is so precious, right? Oftentimes, in most of the religious systems, almost all religious systems, don't do this, don't do that, the rules and regulations are there. All these rules and regulations are on the basis of what? against these regulations, rules and regulations are against our tendencies, our passions, our inclinations, right? I like chocolate, right? Say, I like chocolate. No chocolate because you are diabetic, right? Okay, so I like good food. No good food on this day, right? Right? This day is a fasting day. Say in Tibetan, they say, Tekshin Sojong. Oh no even food. You're very hungry, no food because it's Sojong. Right? So there's rules created against our desire. You getting it? So when a rule is imposed against a desire, there's a pain. You know? You agree with me? When a rule is created against your desire, there's a pain. So this is like painful. Whereas this meditation, the pain is not there. In fact, it's saying, the rule is to separate you from this particular action. And the meditation emptiness, it separates you from the action, but the pain is not there. Against the desire doesn't come. Right? This is so beautiful practice, very powerful practice. Okay, so we have to do it, one, try this, and then not only try this, include a very strong prayer that may I be able to inculcate this practice with myself, may I be able to manifest this practice even in the future lifetimes. Okay. 99. Okay, now the feelings, this is very beautiful. The feelings, when you say feelings, feelings has an object. Feeling has experiencer, right? Now rejecting the object feeling to be objectively real. Okay, tea break? Yes.